Five Nights at Candy's is a fnaf fangame series made by Emil Macko, with the first game releasing on the 18th of July 2015, and shortly became a big hit in the Five Nights at Freddy's community, with even popular YouTubers like Markiplier covering the game at the time. So, Emil Macko, realising the success of his game, made two sequels, Five Nights at Candy's 2 and Five Nights at Candy's 3, with a fourth still in development. But then, in 2019, for the 5-year anniversary, Emil released Five Nights at Candy's Remastered, a remaster of the original game with beautiful graphics. Like, look at these. This is the best thing I've ever seen in a click-themed game. So, I thought we should look at the entire series. This video will be covering the remastered version of Five Nights at Candy's 1, because I think it's way better to play the optimized version of the original game. And I played the original one on a stream around a year ago. And I'll be playing the other two as well in future videos. However, the question is, how well does Five Nights at Candy's 1 hold up in 2023? So without further ado, let's load into the game. Okay, here we are on the main menu. Now before we get into the nights, I just want to say that the menu music in this game, whilst also being used in the original game, is very good and is free to use if you credit Emil, that is. But yeah, cool. Let's click new game. Right, first, like I said before, the graphics in this game is very, very impressive for a click-team game. You know, like, as someone who has tried making a game in click-team, like, I actually wonder how he did this. You know, like, what? But anyways, as always in these FNAF style games, we get phone calls telling us everything we need to do in the game. Now we actually get subtitles for this, which is a very cool addition to this game, which is very appreciated. Another cool detail I want to talk about is the monitor. Like, I think it's cool that it doesn't take up the entire screen like most FNAF style games, but in this game you're actually like holding it in front of you like it's a real monitor. As well, the monitor also has different wires and cables connecting to it, which is also a great, cool detail that Emil have decided to add to this game. Anyways, let's talk about the gameplay. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, it's just like FNAF 1, right? And I see where you're coming from. The core gameplay is basically the same as FNAF 1. You're stuck in an office, stopping animatronics, trying to get you using a door. But this game does make enough changes to set itself apart from FNAF 1 in a unique way. More on those mechanics in a bit, but all you need to know for like the first 3 nights is that you have no light at all. So when the animatronics get to the door, their eyes light up in the dark, which is a really cool detail and makes it a bit more immersive than the FNAF 1 light. Now, on night 1, you only have the Candy and Cindy animatronics to look out for. But there's also Chester as well, who literally appeared outside his Pirate Cove area in the last 5 seconds of the night. So he isn't really a threat on that night, or I just got lucky and he didn't show up. Now, on night 2, it's still the same gameplay as the first night. Candy and Cindy and Chester are all there, and the Penguin. Now, the Penguin is a great addition to this game and a brand new mechanic that helps make the game more difficult and setting candies apart from FNAF 1. Basically, Penguin does is he will try to get into the doors as a normal animatronic, but if he does manage to enter, he won't jump scare you. Instead, he will stop you from using the doors, and then it's just up to one of the other animatronics to kill you. Moving on to night 3, this is where Blank is introduced, and he's quite similar to the Foxy mechanic in FNAF 1, or you have to watch him on the cameras, and when he eventually leaves, you have to quickly close a door to stop him. In FNAF 1, it's the left door, and in Candy's, it is the front ticket booth door in front of you. And fun fact, if you actually look at camera 5 after Blank leaves, you can actually see him punching the door, which is a very cool addition. Night 4 introduces Old Candy, which acts just like all the other animatronics, but since he's an older animatronic, his eyes don't glow up in the dark like the other animatronics, so you have to use the cameras outside the door to see if he's there, and if he is there, you gotta close the door as normal. However, this introduces the first main strategy you'll use in the game past night 3 and 4, which is you check both cameras for each door, you check Blank, and you check the actual doors, then you rinse and repeat. Night 5 doesn't add any new animatronics, it just ramps up the difficulty a bit. So, you should beat it pretty easily, but yeah. Do that, and then beat the first 5 nights. Congratulations. But then, you unlock night 6. Now, night 6 is the final of the canon nights, and ramps up the difficulty of night 5 as well as introducing the Rat. He's one of the 3 mysterious Golden Freddy-like characters in the series. The other 2, well, we'll get onto them later. But all you need to know for right now is the rat acts like Old Candy, but where Old Candy could just go to the left side of the office, the rat can go to both sides, which makes him more challenging than all the other animatronics. And he is also quite faster than the other animatronics, which just adds to his difficulty. Also, throughout the Candy series, Night 6 is always kind of like a boss fight night. Think Springtrap in FNAF 3 or Nightmare Fredbear in FNAF 4. Boss fight counts more for FNAC 2 and 3, but for FNAC 1, you kind of just have to deal with the rat more than face to face him like a boss fight. But anyways, beating that, and congrats, you beat the first 6 nights. And now, we have unlocked extras, but before we get into that, I would like to talk quickly about some other cool details in this game which I thought were really cool. A good thing about this game is it's in full screen, 16:9, unlike the other games in the series which are sadly 4:3. Also the phone calls, as I've already said, they just tell you how to do the animatronics. Night 5's phone call starts talking about a secret room which will come into the game later. I forgot to mention that after each night there is a different cutscene that plays in the same location, a factory. They all include this version of the puppet called Vinny. They are one of the 3 mysterious characters I mentioned earlier. They also appear in FNAC 3 as well. Editing BeatNinja here. Also, I forgot to mention there's also a Markiplier and Dorku Easter egg. I'll let you have a watch of them real quick.
What the hell? Where the hell am I? What is this place? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I?
Hey there. Hi. How you doing, kitty cat?
There's also another Easter egg if where you're only in a game with just the penguin and you run out of power while he's in your office. This message will appear.
Can I take an order? 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 Can I take an order?
Moving on to the extras. And the extras has some basic animatronic renders, jump scares, and a cool comparison section, comparing the animatronics, office, and even the cameras from the original FNAC 1. You also have the option to pan and zoom, which again, like the amazing looking graphics, is also something I have no idea how you would even do in Click Team, which is also very cool. As well, like all fan games, there's a custom night. Now the custom nights are very cool by themselves and offer great readability to the game, but there's also the dreaded max mode of all these games, and in Candies it is 720 mode. Now I've only tried it once and rats got to my door and killed me in like under 50 seconds. Maybe I'll do another video later, but from what I know about it, it's very luck based, much like FNAF 1's 420 mode and definitely FNAF 2's 1020 mode. Now, I just want to say that the Candy series does struggle with difficulty, with Candies 2 and 3 even having a night skip exploit. But this is something I would like to talk about with those games in future videos. And even though FNAC 1 is probably the hardest game in the series, it's actually kind of easy. I only really died one time throughout the first 6 nights, but hey, I'm not complaining, the game is still fun, and I think the main reason why, at least for Candies 1, is the fact that the power system could be considered too forgiving. Now, depending on whether if you have heard of Candies before, or you haven't, probably think that would be the end of the game. Well, not quite. You see, if you go to the rat in the extras menu, and look at him for a short time, you get a code. Put the code into the custom night, and yeah, you get Null Night, or Shadow Candy Night. Now this is my favourite part of the entire game. In this secret night, a purple tint is all over the office, and when looking at the cameras, you can see a mysterious camera 13. Now this camera doesn't exist throughout the entire game up to this point. And in this night, everyone else is gone, and the only animatronic is Shadow Candy. Basically, how Shadow Candy works is he will start in cam 13, and when he leaves, he will appear on any other camera, with or without night vision. Now, you may be thinking, BeatNinja, what's night vision? Well, it's actually something I forgot to mention in earlier. But how it works is you double click on the camera, it lights up, but it isn't really a mechanic, kind of just an extra step, and you only have to turn it on once per night if you have to. Anyways, Back to the gameplay. When you find Shadow Candy on one of the cameras, just wait on that camera until he leaves, then he'll go straight back to cam 13 and you rinse and repeat the process. However, if you are too late on finding him, he'll appear on one of the cameras outside your office, again with either night vision on or off. You'll have to close the door to stop him, and if you get unlucky enough for him to enter your office, he will take a chunk of your power as well. When you stop him with the door, however, he won't go back to camera 13, instead he will go back to another camera in the building and you have to find him again. And if you don't, well, he'll be right back outside again. Now this is a good gameplay loop itself, and a good challenge as well, even using night vision as a mechanic, which was a great idea on Emil's part and is very cool. How you get to the secret night is also very cool. Looking at animatronic on the extras menu for a certain amount of time makes it easy to find, but not obvious enough that you probably won't notice it on your first or second playthrough. Now, you might have noticed that there's a weird paper cat thing on the desk and it wasn't there before. Well, this is the origami cat, and believe it or not, it actually has a mechanic in this night. You see, when Shadow Candy jump scares you, he won't kill you. He only kills you when you run out of power. No, if he gets in your office normally, he will actually send you back an hour. That's why the origami cat comes into play. He will be hidden in one of the cameras. Find him, click him, and you'll be given your hour back. So yeah, do that, and congrats, you beat the secret night. And you also get the ability to see cam 13 on the other nights, which is a really cool addition. And then you get a teaser for fnac 4, featuring what is referred to by fans as Funtime Candy. And you also get an extra star on the home screen. Very cool. Overall, Five Nights at Candy's is a really decent FNAF fan game, and though it can be considered a FNAF 1 clone, I think the amazing graphics and extra unique changes makes FNAC able to set itself aside from a FNAF 1, in a good way of course. I hope you enjoyed this video. This format is something I would like to stick with for a while on this channel, so yeah, subscribe, and next time we'll be covering FNAC 2. But until then, goodbye!